All in my feelings. The new pandemic. Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to another episode of Clarified Moments, CCT, Clear Conscious Thought, where we incorporate critical thinking skills, ironically, over emotion, which is today's talking point. So let me first start this off by preferencing a couple of quotes like I always do in my videos, or I try to do in my videos. The first quote is, "Life is a comedy for those who think and a tragedy for those who feel." Emotion has its place, but not not at the expense of logic and reason. I mean, we got to admit in today's culture that that's too much emotion versus logic and reason. Anger is never without a reason, but seldom a good one. Benjamin Franklin. Again, all this anger, all this hostility. Anger has its place, but not at the expense of logic and reason. At the end of your feelings is nothing, but at the end of every principle is a promise. That's my favorite one. Like we have to remember the principles of life and how there's a promise associated with it. Our feelings have their place, but not over these principles. Why are we so emotional nowadays? Why are we throwing away all logic and reason because we're in our feelings? Because we feel like this is racist, because we feel like this is bigotry or whatever. Why are we not looking and studying and showing ourselves approved, rightly dividing the word of truth? We've been sold so many lies, ladies and gentlemen, that it's not even funny. And we buying them and reselling them. We in our feelings, we killing businesses, unnecessary lockdowns, all because we're in our feelings. We're rioting, we're making claims of systemic racism without any proof, just characterizing people, demonizing them. National monuments and statues being torn. I mean, a statue's been there 100 years. All of a sudden, it's a problem. For no real reason other than it exists. We're in our feelings, ladies and gentlemen, and these feelings are calling us to entertain foolery. The NBA, for instance, they're prohibiting mass gatherings. Guess what they are? Doubles in ping pong. So they can't play doubles because of COVID-19, but we could play pickup basketball, 5-on-5, pick and roll. Not to mention Black Lives Matter. Putting all that stuff on jerseys as they play. If this isn't shoving and pushing a certain agenda down the throats of America, of people that patronize their industry, I don't know what it is. Why we're fascinated with this victimhood narrative, for the life of me, I can't figure it out. We would rather chase a subjective eradication of some so-called suppressor than to attack the suppressor within. We are all kings and queens. But I guess the only way to claim this truth is the arrest of the narrative of war. Like we must wage war against the system, against the oppressor. But we refuse to wage war against the oppressor within. Black folks, listen to me. Those of you who support this movement, that we oppress, that we under some sort of oppression. What about the suppression within? Again, like we suppress the importance of education, the importance of fatherhood, the importance of personal accountability and responsibility, the importance of not having kids. Like, hello, like that's me, having kids out of wedlock, marrying one woman. Like, I experienced the principles associated with that and how it was a detriment to my financial prosperity. I love all of them. I wouldn't give them up for the world, but trapping, that was me. Then we got artists exploiting all that type of stuff in their music, the movie industry. How about acknowledging the principle of respect. I guess we can't do that because we don't even respect each other. So how are we going to expect respect authority? I mean, when we in our feelings, I guess it's hard to see it. We being played, folks. Last week, the Senate, the Democrats, they passed a $350 billion measurement designed to specifically address systemic racism and a historic underinvestment in communities of color, right? They call it the Economic Justice Act. But guess what? Back in 2017, the President Trump, he signed a tax cuts and a Tax Cut and Jobs Act, which established opportunity zones to incentivize long-term investments, wait for it, in low-income communities across the country. These incentives offer capital gains, tax relief. I mean, it just promoted investment in these designated opportunity zones. $100 billion. And for those who want to challenge me on 100 billion versus 350 billion, billionaires will tell you at a certain point, even millionaires, the dollar amount doesn't matter. It's the exact same thing, folks. How are we even entertaining this sleight of the hand BS? What makes one more legitimate than other? Feelings. One, because the big bad pink man said it, and then the other one was because of the wholesome, all-loving, good Democratic Party. I mean, this reminds me of a quote in this book that I have on heavy repeat, Building the Super Race. I call it a blueprint to race relations. And it says, and I quote, "A cold reality for our country is that we are not free until we liberate purpose within our soul." End quote. We can be staring at freedom right before our very eyes. Opportunity, direction, instruction. I mean, everything can be laid out, yet we'll still be oppressed within our soul due to our feelings. There's very few instances where logic and reason have let me down, the seat of clarity. Unlike my feelings, it's let me down on numerous occasions. Get out of your feelings, folks. Let's do something that's really gonna make an impact other than being in our feelings. And I'm talking to everyone that's caught up. It's a tragedy to be caught up in your feelings and not use logic and reason, clear conscious thought, clarity, facts to create your journey, to create this path to prosperity and freedom and the American dream, like what we all are striving for. We're not going to be able to get there as long as we stay in our feelings. And whether you're Democratic, Republican, you got to admit that the narrative, it's all wrapped around our feelings. They're not going to get us anywhere. Let's look at one another. You got all this misinformation, disinformation, and information disorder out here. And people are using it to promote and drive a certain narrative. And nowhere in that narrative is the truth. But listen, folks, I could talk about this for a long time. Obviously, I'm passionate about it. But I want you to watch my videos. So again, watch the video, like it, share, and stay tuned for more videos like this.